Greetings, metalheads. Welcome back to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today, I've got another fantastic album for you, a progressive metal band from Germany called Ivanhoe. The band have just released their new album on Massacre Records. It's called Healed by the Sun, which is a fantastic comeback album. Check it out, metalheads. You're going to enjoy this one. Now, the band were originally formed back in 1986, and so far the band have released 8 albums. The band's debut album was called Visions and Reality. Now, this album was originally released in 1994 with the original singer Andy B Franck. Now, we all know Andy's moved on and joined the German power metal band Brainstorm. This debut album would also feature Gio Soulas on guitars, Gio Soulas on bass guitars, Lars Horning on drums, and keyboard player Marcus British. Now, the first 3 albums that featured Andy on vocals were very much inspired by Dream Theater and also Marillion. Now, I really like the first 3 albums musically. I thought there was some really interesting ideas. Marillion meets Dream Theater. However, I did find Andy's vocals to be quite strenuous. I didn't feel like his vocals fit the music. And I think Andy made the right choice to move on to joining Brainstorm. His vocals are way much better suited for that music. Ivanhoe's second album was called Symbols of Time. This was released in 1995, another great album. Like I said, the third album that featured Andy would be called Polarized. This was the last album that he'd do with the band. All 3 albums are really well worth checking out and interesting to listen to, so check them out, metalheads. In 2005, the band would find a replacement vocalist. Now, they released an album called Walking on In Mindfields. This is a really interesting album, and this was followed by the next album called Lifelines in 2008. This was followed by the next album called Systematrix, which was released in 2013, followed by 7 Days in 2015, and the band's last album before the new album is called Blood and Gold, released in 2020. Since the early days, the band have moved on. They kind of kept the Dream Theater vibe, but they've also got a vibe of a band called Dark Waters and also another German band called Dreamscape. All 3 bands really do work well with the band's music that they're creating today. Now, I've got to say, Ivanhoe have come a long way since the first few albums. I really enjoyed the band's music of today. So I'm going to tell you who's in the current lineup for this new album. So the new album will feature vocalist Koch, who was a fantastic singer. We'd also have Lorey on guitars. We'd have Gio Soulas on bass guitars. We'd have Richie Seibel on keyboards and drummer Mathias Biehl on drums. So that's the lineup for the new album. The new album's called Healed by the Sun on Massacre Records, which is a great album, by the way, guys. Now, the production was done by Gio Soulas and Lorey, who's done a fantastic job on this album. Really crisp, very powerful, very interesting production, but it's a really good album with some really interesting songs, folks. The artwork for this album was done by Michael Krebis, who's done a fantastic job, as you'll see in this review. The mixing and mastering, however, was done by Andy Horn, who's done a fantastic job alongside the producers of this album. So I'm going to tell you what the song titles are for this new album now. We'd open up with Daybreak. This would be followed by the title track, Healed by the Sun, followed by the Head Nuts, Moments in Time, Goodbye, Small Path Home, Invictus, Pictures in My Mind, which is the bonus track. We'd have One Ticket to Paradise, War of Ages, 10C, Broken Illusions, and another bonus song, which is also re-recorded. It's called Awaiting Judgment Day. So that's the titles for the album. Now, I think Alex is the best singer that this band have had. He's got a really strong voice with a very powerful range. The opening track is a great song. It's called Daybreak. It's a very interesting, powerful song with some great melody hooks. It reminds me of Dream Theater, but it also reminds me of a band from Norway called Pagan's Mind. This song also reminds me of another German band, Vanden Plas, as we all know, an absolute fantastic band. Like I said, Alex is a great singer, but he also does some fantastic harmony vocals on this song. Next song is called Head Nut. This is a really good song. It's heavy in times, but I like the way that Ivanhoe do some really cool, melodic, slow parts. They really do mix well with the heavy parts. Interesting ideas by Ivanhoe, but they've also done this on previous albums. It's a song that comes across between Dreamscape and also Pagan's Mind. This band come up with some really interesting ideas, but like I said, if you are a fan of Dream Theater, Dreamscape, Pagan's Mind, then this band is a really, really good band you need to check out, especially this album, folks. Now, the next song is called Moments in Time. This is kind of a semi-ballad. It's a really well thought out song with some fantastic music and vocals. The guitar solo by Chris reminds me of Chris DeGarmo and Michael Wilton from Queensryche. All around a fantastic song. Some great harmony vocals, fantastic playing all around. The next song is called Goodbye, which is basically acoustic guitar. Now, this goes into a song called Small Path Home, another really good song. It's not as heavy as, the first couple of songs, but it's a really well thought out song with some fantastic arrangements. The song also has a lot of twists and turns with a fantastic vocal range by Alex. Well, folks, Ivanhoe have done a fantastic job on this album. It's got a fantastic production, some great songs with some great vocals. All around, it's a brilliant album. It's one of the best albums by Ivanhoe. I'm going to give this album 4.5 out of 5. If you like Ivanhoe's previous albums, you're in for a right treat with this one. It's called Healed by the Sun, released on Massacre Records. Great to see these guys come back. Hopefully, I'll get an interview with them very soon. Thanks for watching, Metalheads. Be safe.